This is CHSR 97.9 FM here in Fredericton, New Brunswick, Canada, and you're listening to Python's Paradise, your film and music show, and this is your host, Greg Gilbert, aka the Python Hyena. A little tongue-tied there, but maybe it's that drizzle and weather we got going on outside this January of 2017. But folks, I have a wonderful guest on the phone. I have a musician on the phone by the name of Kimberly Haynes, and she's probably in some nice weather there in California, where we're here in the ice and the cold and the freezing rain. How you do, Kimberly?
Hey there, Greg. I'm doing great today. Thank you so much for having me on your show.
Oh, it's a pleasure and an honor. Is it true? Is it nice weather there where you are?
Well, I mean, it kind of depends how you look at it. In fact, we are having a week of a pour down, and it's just raining cats and dogs outside. But for us, this is great news. This is great weather because we've been going through such a big drought, you know.
Yeah, well, we got lots of snow here and lots of rain.
Yeah. Well, we're getting our share this year, thank goodness.
Well, we need the sand trucks right now. I think that's what we need. But yeah.
Yeah,
but
that's a different story.
Yeah, that's a big difference. But I got in contact with you through Mike Gormley. He, of course, sent me a message. He said, I was thinking about you the other day. I have just the perfect guest for your show. And he gave me your bio and a track or two off your CD and for me to listen to. And, of course, I looked you up on YouTube as well to check out some of your tracks. And I got back to it. I said, yeah, send her my way. And I was just,
nice.
I was just wondering, how did you come to meet Mike?
Let's see. I was introduced to Mike through a mutual friend who was I was discussing my career with this friend of mine, and he said, oh, let me introduce you to my other friend, Mike Gormley. And so Mike and I had a lunch, and we, hit it off nicely, and he's very knowledgeable, but at the same time as being very knowledgeable and experienced, he's really laid back and easy to talk to and easy to work with, and so it seemed like a good match. So here we are.
Yeah, I've never met Mike personally, but he has sent probably I would say a good 7 or 8 guests my way. I come to know him because I interviewed an actress I've been a fan of for over 30 years, and that was Lisa Langlois. And I interviewed her, and she got me to arrange it through him. And after I interviewed her, the following year, I thought, well, I would do a little music history for a show, and I thought, I'm going to have Mike on. So I asked Mike to come on my show, and Mike came on, and he was a great guest. And after that, he has sent me so many amazing people, from Lee Lane of Moonways, who's my youngest guest I've had. I've had Daryl Purpose. I've had Ronnie Cox. I've had Peter Foldy, and he sent Johnny Hernandez from Oinko Boinko my way. So I always appreciate when he sends these interesting talents my way, and they've never failed to be interesting. So you're in good company.
That's awesome.
Yeah, but anyway, I was looking over your bio, and I guess you got your newest album is called Awaken Me. And I love the title of the album, Awaken Me. Of course, you got a track on the album called that as well. But before we get to that, I was just wondering if you would give us a little bit of your background and how you come to be a musician.
Oh, gosh. Okay. Well, yes. I've been... music started flowing out of me when I was very young, probably, 7, 8, 9 years old, when I was able to start working the record player myself. I just started listening to music and learning the songs, and my family noticed that there was some talent there, and sort of helped get me placed in my church and my school. And then I started, taking voice lessons. And by the time I was a teenager, I was, recording in a studio in my city, and involved with, performance groups and in the gifted program at high school. And so it's almost as if there was never a time that I was not a musician. I have taken some time away from music when I got married and started my family, and so there was quite a break in there. But music has always been the thing that directs my my comings and goings and what I'm doing in my world.
Okay.
So yeah.
I just wondering, who were your musical influences? Who did you listen to, especially at those younger years? Who was it that caught your attention, that inspired you to get into music?
Well, let's see. When I was about, I started listening to Olivia Newton-John.
Can't fault you there.
She was one of my all-time heroes. Particularly when I was a teenager and Grease was out, and so I collected every one of her records. And my parents used to listen to country and western music, and so I would listen to all the female vocalists that they had records of, whose names escape me at the moment. But and then I was involved in my church at the time, and so I would listen to a lot of contemporary Christian artists like Amy Grant and this kind of thing. And I also, in my late teens and early 20s, I got really interested in jazz and big band, and I was deeply influenced by that style, and Ella Fitzgerald and Doris Day and Billie Holiday and Lena Horne, so many really great artists from back in the day.
Okay.
And so I had a lot of varying influences, and then in my mid-20s, I got very interested in Joni Mitchell, and I listened to her nonstop for a long time, just from like the songwriting perspective. So I was really learning a lot from listening to her music and her ability to tell a story in the song.
Wow.
So,
yeah.
Lots of variety.
Yeah. No, I can't fault you on Olivia Newton-John. I love Olivia Newton-John. It's interesting because in 2015 I had one of the backup dancers from Grease on my show.
Oh, wow.
Actually, and I didn't know she was a backup dancer in Grease. I had Antonia Franceschi on here. She was in the movie Fame. She was one of the ballet dancers.
Oh.
And she has a speaking part. And I did not know until I read her bio that she was a backup dancer in Grease. So, and it didn't take me long to pick her out because she was the cutest female in all those backup dancers.
Oh, that's funny. Yes, well, I took the opportunity on this record to make my little tribute to, my quiet little tribute to Olivia Newton-John by including You're the One That I Want on the album.
I saw that when I was looking at your tracks. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's that great moment where she shows up all dressed in the black.
Yeah. But it's a real different take on the song. And, I had to figure out a way to fit the song into my album, which is, it's a devotional album. It's a seeker's album. So I really shifted the song out of the sort of human aspect of love and romance, and drew on the Hindu pantheon into the song, and made it about the love and romance between the gods and goddesses in the Hindu pantheon. So you'll have a listen to it.
You know, it's interesting because Olivia Newton-John herself did a version of Jolene by Dolly Parton, and her version was actually really, really good. She didn't mess it up.
I remember it very well.
Yeah. And it was kind of fun. I saw online on a video where she performed it, and it's fun watching Olivia perform on stage. I haven't seen her live, but watching the video, she's very energetic.
Aw, I'll have to check that out.
Yeah. It's interesting you mentioned the devotional part, because I come from a Christian family, and I play some Christian artists on my show, like Crystal Myers I like, and I'm trying to think who else. Christine Evans, who's Canadian.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I play some of that stuff. So it's interesting you mentioned the spiritual side of your lyrics and your writing in terms of your songs.
Yes, you know, although I would definitely not classify my album as Christian or any other religion, it's very much a personal journey, a seeker's journey, making meaning, you know, of life and experience. But I have been, you know, very deeply impacted by. I'm a philosopher at heart, you know, so I've studied many different religions, in fact. So and I take all of that with me, and it informs how I write my songs and the feeling behind them.
Yeah. Well, you got your latest album, Awaken Me. Now, I love the title, Awaken Me. Now, and I know it's the name of one of the songs on the album as well, but what made you use that as the album title as well? Now, I kind of have an idea what you're going to say, but I want to hear it from you.
Oh, gosh. Oh, my gosh. There were so many decisions, Greg, to make at the time when I was releasing this album, and it was going so fast. So, you know, we tossed around the idea of what to call the album and what song to put first and so on and so forth. But I decided on Awaken Me because it really is my prayer. It's my daily prayer. It is the prayer that that I feel has the most potential to do good, you know. So if I can constantly be in a state of waking up to the present moment, you know, I can impact my family, my children, my husband, my friends in the most positive way. And so that's what I really feel the album is about. It's about waking up. And so it seemed an apt title for the album. And what was your thought?
I thought it was kind of a spiritual thing, like open up the mind and in clarity and stuff, you know, from a spiritual and intellect kind of standpoint.
Absolutely, that's absolutely correct. Yes.
Yeah.
And you know, just like every day, it takes showing up to that every single day. And in the song, you know, the lyrics are, "Awaken me for my family, awaken me, you know, for so that I can be of service."
There you go. Well, how long did it take you to write this album?
That's interesting. Well, I had several of the songs were written when I went into the project. And when I went into the project, I didn't actually plan on originally making an album. I was planning on just recording a couple of songs. But then when I got into the studio and I started working with it, it became clear that there was a bigger project at hand. And so I did a fan fund, and I said to myself, if I can raise the money to make this album, then I'll go forward. And so I did a fan fund, and it was very successful, and I was really floored by the support that was out there for me to do this. It was so incredibly touching to see all these people come out and really, give me a thumbs up to go forward. And so then, once the fan fund was over and I was ready to go in and make the album, I was like, oh my gosh, I need songs. I need more songs. So my husband was kind enough to send me away for a week all by myself. It was the first time I'd been alone in like 10 years. Our oldest boy is 11 years old. And
just a key to you. A lot of husbands are trying to send their wives away for a week.
What's the big deal? Is that what you're trying to tell me, Greg?
I don't know. I'm just speaking from a guy's standpoint.
I know, Greg. I happen to be the resident chef and taxi driver, so I don't know.
Oh,
I think it's impact.
Oh, well, okay.
Anyway, I went away for a week up to a cabin in Northern California. No phone, no internet, no nothing. And I had 5 days of just really like diving deep and writing songs and pulling out all the different ideas that had been fermenting within me. And so I came back from that trip with all the songs for the album.
Oh, wow. And of course,
Yeah.
being in a place like that, you had peace and time to yourself, and you had your scenery around you. So that's perfect environment for concentrating on writing.
Yes, it was really a gift because, as a mom of 2 young children, I very rarely get to have a linear thought, I am constantly being interrupted. So, Mommy, can I? Mommy, can you get me? Mommy, I have to go here. Mommy, can I have this? I'm hungry. I'm thirsty.
So how bad the condition was the house when you get back home?
Right. No, it wasn't bad, actually. And they had made a big sign, "Welcome home, Mommy." And no, it was good. It was really great.
Kind of like when I get home and my cat rushes out to see me, only I find out he really wants me to feed him. He didn't want to see me at all.
Exactly. To you, that's exactly what I was saying. I think they miss me because I'm the resident chef.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But you'd had other tracks on the album. I know one that was sent to me by Mike was "Do I Dare." Tell me about that song.
Oh gosh. Well, "Do I Dare"? Yeah, that was a really actually that song was the last song that I wrote, and I did not write that one while I was away. I wrote it at the very end of the recording process, and it happened because I did start it while I was away. I had been in a conversation with someone who was really questioning, like, what are you doing? You're doing so many things, but I mean, who are you really? What? I'm not sure exactly where the person was coming from, but what it inspired in me was to say, I am a multidimensional being, and it caused me to write a poem about it. Do I dare to be all that I want to be and all that I see for myself? And so I wrote this poem, and my partner said, that's a song, Kimberly. And I said, it's not a song, it's a poem. No, it's a song, Kimberly. Go write that song. And so he kept bugging me about it. My partner is Vito, my co-producer on this record, Vito Grigoli. And so I went home, and one evening I was in meditation and on this song. And so it really just started to come through as I was sitting in meditation and recalling some times when I have gone on a hike up to this particular tree here in Topanga, California, where I sometimes meditate, and I really got into that space, and I was playing with my medicine drum in my writing room there at the house, and the song started coming through me as a prayer, and it really is about owning my own becoming, owning my own direction and my own voice, and not trying to, hide my light.
Okay.
Yeah.
I was going to ask too. What instruments do you like to play? Do you have a favorite?
I play a little bit of a lot of different ones, but probably my go-to instrument is the guitar.
Okay.
Yeah, that would be my go-to instrument, and then I play a little bit of flute, and I have a harp, and I play a frame drum, and I have a big medicine drum that I use, and I have what is the name of this? Kalimba, and I play a little bit of piano, and so just enough to accompany myself.
Kind of like Phil Collins was in Genesis. He seems to know how to play everything.
Just a little bit, yeah.
Yeah. So when you was up there by yourself, you take how much of your instruments did you take with you, or did you?
Yeah, I took. I think I just took my guitar and my keyboard.
Okay. Does that help? Does that help you along the process, like when you're writing?
It does. I often play. I often play chord changes and patterns, and then I hear, while I'm doing that, I can hear the melody come through.
Okay.
And as I start hearing the melody come through, then the words start sort of formulating behind that, almost simultaneously for me, and the story begins to come. That's generally my writing practice.
Okay. And you had some other songs on here too. "Light of My Soul."
"Light of My Soul," yep, that was my single before the album was released. I released that song as a single, and it was also the song that led my fan fund. So that was the first one that I recorded.
Okay. Yeah, I listed a few of the songs down here. "The Great Divide."
Yes, "The Great Divide." Yep.
Yeah. And it also said, I also noticed on the snippet that Mike had sent me that you've been to Europe and Japan.
Yes, well, when I was pretty young, 19 and 20 years old, I had my first trip to Japan as a singer, musician, and I worked in a nightclub in Kyoto.
Okay.
And that was eye-opening. I mean, 19 years old, you hardly even know your name, right? Just a baby. And so that was really, in so many ways, just changed me in such fundamental ways. Seeing the world as such a bigger place than, just the city, just the religion, just the community that I grew up in. Now I was saying, wow, there's so much else going on in the world.
Yeah.
So that was really a wonderful experience, and I continued to go back and forth to Japan in different musical aspects for 10 to 12 years.
Out of all the places you've been, what is your favorite?
Oh my goodness. Well, wow. I don't know how to answer that. I don't know. I think my favorite is the last place I was in, which was Lake Louise, Canada. It was so incredibly beautiful, just like out of a storybook. And being there with my family was so inspiring, just to, have a time together when we didn't have to do anything else, because life is so darn busy with young kids and things to do at the house and so forth. And so that was really a winter wonderland. I have never seen anything so beautiful in my life.
Boy, I wish I could share the same appreciation for the snow as you do.
Well, I think it probably, would have a different impact for you if you lived in California.
Yeah, I had to drive with caution to get here because the roads, some places were like a bottle.
Right. I mean, living in it would be a totally different thing, no doubt, right?
Yeah.
But visiting a place, it's magical when you're visiting a place.
Yeah. And what was it like in Europe?
Well, I lived in Denmark, so it was also cold. I was there during winter, of all times. And it was also very, 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 very cold. And it was very, 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 very dark. I think we had, similar to Canada, we had light for 5 or 6 hours a day. And I loved that country. The people were just so wonderful, so welcoming, so kind. There was really no theft. You could just leave your bicycle or your baby, even, outside the restaurant. And never, no lock on it, no worries about your child. Just a beautiful place. And we played radio stations and, nightclubs, and we had a great time. I was there with a band that I was part of at the time.
Do you have a favorite venue that you played? Like anywhere?
Gosh. Yeah, it's hard for me to recall. So much has happened since then.
Listen to me ask the tough questions.
I know. Ay.
You see, I never travel. I've never been outside New Brunswick, so I always get asked about these places because chances of getting me anywhere.
Wow. Yeah.
Do you know?
Well.
Yeah.
Just I feel like, traveling is has a way of, like I said, when I went to Japan the first time, I just became like so aware of what a big world it is,
Yeah. Do you know where I'm located here in New Brunswick?
Not exactly.
No. Never been up this way, huh?
East Coast, right?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I always tell my guests about the closest we have to celebrities are the Trailer Park Boys.
Oh my God.
What? Yeah, I take it you're familiar with them.
Well, no, I don't. I'm not sure exactly what you're talking about.
Oh, it's a series on Netflix. They've gone through 11 seasons. It's comedy. They've done 3 movies. Ivan Reitman produced their first movie, so they've done 11 seasons. Yeah.
Wow, I don't know about that one.
No.
No, I watch mostly kid programs right now.
I'm not big on kids' movies. I do like the Muppets. I do like Pixar, but I find I hate seeing movies where I feel that I'm being talked down to. Like, I saw Storks this year, which was an animation. I got up and walked out midway through it, I couldn't take any more of it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, it's not my favorite genre, believe me. But with a 7-year-old, I kind of have to flow with things.
Oh. So what's your favorite genre?
Of music?
No, for movies.
For movies, well, back in the days when I used to watch movies for leisure and pleasure, I was really mostly interested in like foreign films and in the either dramatic or comedy.
Do you have any favorites?
One that pops right to mind is The Unbearable Lightness of Being.
Okay.
It's one of my favorite movies of all time. And I'm sure there are just many that I just can't think of right now. But that's a go-to one for me.
Yeah,
I just finished watching a Netflix program though that I really loved, which is called The Crown.
Okay, I've heard of that. Yeah.
About the early days of Queen Elizabeth, and it is done so beautifully. Like, I literally could not tear myself away from that. I watched every episode in like 2 days.
Okay.
So that was wonderful. I highly recommend it.
Did you see that movie, The Queen? Did you like that?
Well, I did just watch that the other night because I couldn't find The Crown because I was looking for The Queen. I got the names confused, and so I ended up watching The Queen. Yeah, I liked it okay. That movie was really more about the whole Princess Diana fiasco and how the Queen responded to the situation, and it was kind of a keyhole into a very specific time.
Yeah.
Yeah. It was okay.
I do like foreign films. We don't get very many here, but luckily Monday evenings during the university school year, there's a film society that plays a lot of films they don't get at the mall, and they'll play a lot of foreign films, and it's nice to see stuff from other countries. I'm actually disappointed with the lack of films coming out of Canada. It seems all to be done in Hollywood, and some of that stuff is so ballyhooed that all I can do is plug my ears to it. I still haven't seen Rogue One. It's been out since December, and I'm not saying I'm not going to see it. It's just when something is hyped really bad, I find I pull away.
Is that the Star Wars thing?
Yeah.
Yeah. My husband is talking about taking the kids to see that soon. I have no interest personally, but whatever. We're going to go see Sing this weekend with the kids.
I haven't seen Sing yet either, but I'm going to tell you I am kind of interested in it. It looks kind of funny.
Yeah. Yes, I'm interested to see how it is. So we're celebrating my husband's birthday this weekend, so we're going to the movies.
He's going to sneak off to Rogue One, and you're going to go Sing?
Right, exactly.
I'll probably eventually see both of those films. I just haven't yet. Normally, normally I tend to go to the movies that you don't have the biggest publicity push, because those ones are usually strike my curiosity more than not.
Exactly. Yes, I agree.
Yeah. But, I got this album, Awaken Me, that was brought to my attention now. Looking online, is this your only album, or have you done others?
This is the first album that I have released and promoted. I have an EP that I recorded a few years back that I did not promote, and I self-produced.
Okay.
But this is really my debut album.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So I gotta say, like I'm 44 years old, so I grew up with a lot of the changes that the music industry has gone through. Like, I can tell you, my parents still have an 8-track machine.
Oh, wow. Yes.
And I remember the vinyl stage, and I guess vinyl is making a comeback. And
It is. No, my God, it's so crazy.
yeah, and cassettes and CDs and whatnot. What do you think of all that craze?
Well, when I was ordering my CDs, there was some discussion about ordering LPs, and I was just like, what? I thought we were really trending toward actually, away from any physical, the physical aspect of the music, and more just, online, basically, online listening.
Why don't you do that? Why don't you do an LP and a CD both? I guess you have done a CD, but why not do an LP? I actually think that vinyl sounds the clearest.
Yeah. Well, perhaps in the future we'll see what happens. But especially, I remember when I was listening to albums, it was so important for me to have that album cover to hold and look at and read the lyrics. And for my CD, I put in a booklet in my CD. It's 12 pages long, and it has all the lyrics in it, and it has some notes on what the songs mean to me, because I really love to be able to read the lyrics, and I like to know what the song is about, and it really makes a difference to have that tactile experience with the product.
Okay. Well,
so we'll see about it.
Yeah. Well, that seems to be making a comeback. Every time I go up at the record store, I'm just overwhelmed that this has come back. Because I saw the movie Rock of Ages a few years back, and I went to that 4 times. I loved it. And there was a scene where there was a music number done in a record store, and I just shook my head saying, I remember this scene. I remember all the vinyl records.
Wow. So amazing. It's making a comeback.
Yeah. Also,
I'm not sure if cassette tapes or 8-tracks are going to make a comeback.
You don't think so?
I don't know.
I
don't know.
I'll be frank with you. I don't want them to make a comeback, because I don't know how many times I've had tapes screw up and get all scrambled.
Totally.
Yeah. Yeah, those can stay in the past.
Right. Well, we still have a large collection of LPs here at my house. So.
What's in your collection?
Oh my goodness. Well, I have my father-in-law's collection of some comedy albums and a lot of classical music, and then I have my collection of mostly jazz. That's when I was really collecting. For some reason, I don't know why, but I think I gave away all of my Olivia Newton-John LPs. I know that's horrible.
It's horrible.
Oh my God, I know. But they're gone. And then my husband has his collection of LPs down there too, which we just moved not very long ago, and all those LPs have been in boxes for the last 12 years. They're just now, getting out to breathe, and I haven't had a chance to go through them. So I'm hoping that in the next month or two, I can get some time to go down and just browse through all of our LPs, see what's there.
Oh wow! Yeah, I was gonna say, yeah, you want to have your Olivia Newton-Johns, but I was gonna say, you mentioned jazz. Did you like the movie Cabaret?
Let's see.
With Liza Minnelli?
Oh, right. That's what I thought you were meaning.
Yeah.
I don't think I've ever seen it, Greg. I know that's terrible. I don't think I've ever seen it, but I did when I was in Japan, I did sing something from that movie. I can't remember what it is, but I remember it. They're like, Liza Minnelli, you have to sing this song. You know, they really wanted me to sing like old 50s songs and some songs from Cabaret. I can't remember what the song was, but I'm going to see right here. But yeah, I know that was a big hit, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Life is a cabaret. Life is a cabaret. That's what I was singing. Life is a cabaret.
Okay, yes, I know that song, and she sang that well. She won the Oscar for that movie. But I asked because I know you're into jazz, and that's the prime music featured in that film.
Yeah, I wasn't really into her. I was more, you know, like I was really listening to old standards.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, also in the notes that Mike had given me, he mentioned that you had converted to Judaism. Why am I getting that wrong?
Yeah, Judaism.
Good thing you could say it.
Yes.
Yeah, and back when you were younger, you know, you'd struggled with drugs and alcohol, and this kind of pulled you away from that and got your life straightened out.
Yeah, well, I wouldn't say that it was Judaism that did that.
No? Okay.
Judaism came later. But, yeah, you know, it's so easy to get caught up in negative cycles that just do not serve, you know. And that happened to me. But fortunately, for whatever reason, that downward spiral was not in alignment with how I saw the bigger picture. And I could not let myself self-destruct. And so I pulled myself out of that. And then sometime later, when I was contemplating having a family, and having children and teaching them and, you know, directing them, I felt like I really wanted to have a spiritual container in which to teach them about, you know, the bigger patterns in life and life cycles and seasons and meaning, you know, make meaning of existence.
Yep.
And so I was introduced to Judaism, and I did some study on Judaism, and ultimately I decided to convert, and I did that close to 20 years ago now. And yeah, it's been, you know, because of my musical inclination, I naturally gravitated towards becoming leading the prayer services, which are mostly in song. So while I am not a cantor per se, I'm a cantorial soloist, so I co-lead the Shabbat morning services with the rabbi, and that's, you know, that's food for my soul. Just being able to raise my voice in prayer in any context, really. It doesn't have to be Jewish, you know, but to raise my voice in devotion, that really feeds me. And so recently I've started to become involved in something called kirtan singing, which comes out of India, and is a Indian style of devotional singing. It's called kirtan. It goes along with yoga, and so again, it's very sweet and beautiful and fun. And we have big festivals out here for kirtan and yoga called Shakti Fest and Bhakti Fest out in Joshua Tree, California, and people come from all over the world to these festivals. And lots of wonderful music and devotional singing, and it's really inspiring.
You know, I find it inspiring when I read a story like yours, and that you beat any your past addictions 20 or so years ago, or and you branched out into a gifted musician, and you use your talents to express yourself and to pull yourself through life's struggles, and use it to enhance the lives of the people around you. And I can sense just talking to you, your passion. You beat those odds, and I think it's made you not just a better person, but also more skilled in terms of your talent for music.
Thank you. Yeah, that was a big hurdle, Greg. Alcohol was never really an issue for me, but I got caught in a web of methamphetamine.
Okay.
And I got caught in that, not knowing anything about it. I'd never heard of it. I was very naive, and I was at a party and someone introduced me to it, and I was very much an introvert, which I do tend to be kind of introverted, and so being in social situations or being on a stage can be very scary for me, which is where the song Great Divide comes from, actually.
Okay.
So it can be very scary for me, and then when I was introduced to that substance gives you the feeling of being almost invincible. And I was instantly addicted because it solved all the problems that I thought I was having, But within a very short period of time, it had totally destroyed my life, my being, my spirit, and I was suffering from, psychosis. When you don't sleep and you have poison in your system, you go into a state of psychosis.
Yeah.
And that particular substance is one that most people do not recover from. They die. So that I was able to save my life was pretty much a miracle. And I never, ever looked back. And when I was done, I was absolutely certain. And that was that. Like, I had to get my act together and get myself out of that because I was going to die.
Well, you know what? We're glad that you did, because there's so many people in the industry that unfortunately don't recover from drug dependency. Like you hear about people like John Belushi and other I was going to say Elvis Presley, but I'm not sure what his situation was. But John Belushi, I know, had a drug problem, and various others as well have gone that way. And I think that there's a lot of pressure in the industry, especially if you're in the spotlight.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah, totally. It's a totally different way of living, and there really isn't a textbook for teaching people how to deal with that kind of attention and pressure.
No.
Yeah.
I was gonna say.
So, very sad.
What's that?
It can be very sad, people lose their lives to this stuff, but there are lots of success stories too, and my wish is that by bringing my story with me, that it will inspire even just one person.
Well, you've inspired me, and I'm not even addicted to anything.
Oh, that's awesome.
No, but I think your story is fantastic, and but I was gonna say, out of all the venues you played, like I don't know what your audience is like, but what was your biggest audience you've had?
Well, my record release party was really awesome. It was at this wonderful location in Venice, California.
Okay.
And we had about 300 people there. And And it was, I think that was probably the first time that it was just for me that was the number. I wasn't with, performing with anyone else. And so it was really exciting, when I came out the door and I was going up to the stage with the band, and I came out the door that was in front of to the side of the stage. So as I came out the door, I was facing my audience, and I was just totally overwhelmed. There were so many people there, and people waiting at the door on both sides, and it was really such a wave of love and support and joy, and wow, it brings tears to my eyes right now just to remember that experience. It was so powerful.
Wow, that is fantastic. And of course, your album Awaken Me out now. It must have been such an accomplishment to have that finally come out, all that hard work and all that passion.
Oh my gosh, it was really such a labor of love, Greg. I mean, I have a very busy life just without doing music, like with 2 kids and my husband and my house and all the things that go along with, taking care of those things. And then to try and, make an album on top of that and promote the album, it was just a huge accomplishment for me. And I'm thrilled with the outcome, and I'm thrilled with the reception that the album has, gotten. Was welcomed into the musical world so warmly, and got some nice radio play this year, and I'm looking forward to continuing to promote it and getting it out there for people to hear.
Well, if it when you send that copy to me, I will definitely play some tracks here on the show, and do some shout outs for that. I look forward to that, and
thank you.
Yeah, and I'm going to check out that whole CD and see what else. I'm one of these people. Some people release a song, but sometimes I'll go back and I'll listen to some of the songs that aren't released as singles, because sometimes I find that there's a lot of gems in there that don't necessarily get the notice that they should. So sometimes I'll bring them up.
Well, that's how I feel about Do I Dare. It's the gem at the end.
Yeah.
And I also say about You're the One that I want, because it's such a surprise.
Okay.
In the context of the album.
Yeah, I haven't heard your version of that yet, but I look forward to it.
Yeah, I look forward to you taking a listen and hearing what you think, Greg.
Oh, absolutely. I'll definitely do that. Your story is very inspiring, and it's really great to hear from somebody who has beaten the odds and has really succeeded. And you got plans now for your next album?
Yes, I do. In fact, I just sent out a newsletter to my mailing list of folks to let everybody know that I'm going to be starting work on the next CD, and I'm very excited about it. So I'm not going to say too much about that yet.
You got to do a tour first for this one, right?
Yes, I do. So that's it. That's in the work.
You going to come here to New Brunswick?
Well, nothing's impossible.
Nobody else comes here. You might as well. Actually, that's not true. We just did have Chantal Kraviazik here, and she gave a really good performance.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah. In fact, you kind of, in a way, put me in mind of her.
Oh, why is that?
I think, and this is just my perspective, your approach and your singing and your music, I find very similar. Now, maybe people might disagree with me, but it's I kind of thought of Chantal when I first listened to you.
Oh, wow, nice.
Yeah, and that's a big compliment, because Chantal is one of the most amazing musicians we have here in Canada. I seen her once do a performance where she sat in the front of the stage without a microphone, with just a guitar, and her voice carried.
What is her last name?
Kraviazik.
Oh gosh. Okay. You'll have to send me the spelling.
Chantal Kraviazik, yeah, she's married to the lead singer of the band Our Lady Peace.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Yeah.
I can look that up.
Yeah. Rain Maiden's the lead singer of Our Lady Peace. That's also a great Canadian band, but I thought you put me in mind of Chantal, and I thought Chantal, that's a major compliment, trust me.
Oh, well, thank you so much. Thank you.
Yeah.
Wonderful.
Well, you know what? I'm about ready to wrap up here. I'm going to have to say a special thank you to Mike Gormley for hooking this up. He, again,
Yep.
Another great guest.
Thank you, Mike.
Yeah. Mike's never failed to send me interesting people, and he always sends me a little blurb or write-up on the person's past and their music, and sends me a track or two, so I can get a little taste of an idea of how to go about the interview. And this has been a nice flow. And I wasn't familiar with you until he had brought your name up, but I'm familiar with you now, and I did listen to some of your tracks online. So I'm looking forward to getting your CD, and I will definitely play your CD on here.
Awesome. Thanks so much, Greg. It's been such a pleasure to talk with you today.
Yeah. Now, before you go, would you please do a plug for my show?
Oh, sure.
Yeah, just state your name and say you're listening to Greg Gilbert, and the name of my show is Python's Paradise. Python like the snake. And I'm located in, just say New Brunswick, Canada.
Okay.
You ready?
Hold on. Okay. All right, here we go. Hi, this is Kimberly Haynes, and you're listening to Greg Gilbert's Python's Paradise out of New Brunswick, Canada, CHSR. Thanks for listening.
Oh, thank you so much. That was perfect, man. So many people come on here, and it takes them 2 or 3 times, You got it right on.
Would you like me to say it in a different way?
Oh, no, that was good. That was perfect. Now, if you want to do it in a different way, that's up to you, but that was perfect,
Okay, good. As long as you're happy.
I am happy. Well, Kimberly, it was an honor, an absolute honor to talk to you today, and I really wish you the very best of luck with this album, and it will get airplay here, and the very best in the future. And you know what? When your next album comes out, ring me up, and I'll have you on again to promote it.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Greg. It's been a wonderful time chatting today.
Yeah, God bless you, man. Or I
You
should say,
too.
ma'am. I've had a lot of male guests lately, so I'm kind of stuck in that rut.
Okay. Well, I'm glad I could change that up for you.
Absolutely. I got this lovely person on the phone with me, so it's a nice change up. It's a lovely person with a beautiful voice.
Oh, thanks so much.
Well, God bless you, and you enjoy that lovely California weather.
Yes, indeed. I am loving the rain. All right. Stay warm, Greg.
Absolutely. Bye-bye.
Bye, dear. Bye-bye. Thank you.
Bye.